Hey, Team B Stalwart, this is Heidi Bejo, and I am following up on our continued progression from brain dumping to evaluating how last year went to moving on to goals and benchmarks for 2019. So we do have some new people that have joined the group recently. So for those that are new in the group, I just wanted to give a quick update on how you can get caught up very quickly. And even if you've been in our groups for a while, you might not know this, but when I'm assuming most people are looking at this on their phone or tablet, and if you are, if you want to just kind of get to the meat of the coaching posts, when you're in the group feed, which you tap on, there's an icon usually in the bottom of the screen that has, it looks like three people standing together. So if you tap on that, that'll be the group feed. And then when you're in there, you'll see a white bar that says all posts. And if you tap that, then you can filter to just the coach posts. And that will consolidate the number of posts that you have to scroll through to actually see the coaching post that Inga and I put up and get caught up real quick. So if you want to do that, basically there's been about a handful of posts so far. We started this group a week ago, and there was an intro post. In that one, I'm in a video wearing a Steelers beanie, stocking cap, whatever. And then there's another post that talks about the word and how to make your words more powerful. And then the next video is Inga talking about why we picked the name Be Stalwart for our team, and also talking about the 3-day refresh. And then the next video coaching post is I'm in a purple shirt talking about brain dumps. And then the one right before this one is me wearing a pink sweater talking about how to process your brain dumps. So if you're new to the group, those are the things you need to do to get caught up real quick. A couple reminders. One is if you go back to that introductory video where I'm wearing the Steelers beanie, please make sure that you watch that and go through the comments there, because that's where everybody posted their introduction. If you have not posted yours yet, please do that. Part of the value of this group is people getting to know each other, and so we really appreciate your introduction and your taking part in that. The other thing I want to remind everybody about, which Inga talked about in her video, was getting all of your before data logged into the My Challenge Tracker app. So that would be your weight, your measurements, and your photos. So if you haven't done that, it's really important to do that stuff, because a lot of times as your body changes, it's not necessarily evident on the scale, or it's not necessarily evident in measurements. So you kind of need all three to make that happen. So just a reminder to do that if you haven't done that already. So by now, hopefully you've done your brain dump and you've processed all of that information into your planner, and if you have a trigger file system or some other type of reminder system. So hopefully you got all that done over the weekend. If you haven't, please make time to do that. It's really important to empty your brain before we start throwing a bunch more stuff in there. So I'm hoping that's good, and I'm hoping your planning system is working for you with that. If you were in our last group, I had a whole video reviewing a bunch of planners. If you're new to this group and you don't have a planner yet for 2019, please do not hesitate to ask me. Inga will tell you, and other people in this group will tell you that I totally geek out on that stuff. So I'd love to help you find a match with a planning system that works for you. The other thing I would mention, just as follow-up to all the brain dump stuff, is if you have a planner that you like and is working well, somewhere in that planner, or just on a blank piece of paper that you keep in there, have somewhere where you have a running brain dump. So ideally you're doing brain dumps kind of on a running basis, where you just have a page where you can just jot down things that need to get done as you think about them. If you don't, like I said, just stick a blank piece of paper in there and use it that way. And if you're not doing it on a running process, try to do it at least weekly, and at a very minimum on a monthly basis. And use those trigger lists as well, because that will really help keep everything, get all the thoughts out of your brain, leave your brain clear and happy for thinking, not trying to remember a bunch of stuff that really could just be in your planner, so you're not stressing about it. If you want to learn more about brain dumps and mind sweeps. All of that, those trigger lists, and kind of where I first learned about that was in a book by a guy. His name is David Allen, and I know I mentioned that in the other video. And the book that I first read it in is his book called Getting Things Done. So again, if you want to go a little bit deeper into that kind of stuff, I definitely recommend that book, David Allen, Getting Things Done. So check that out if it's something you want to delve into a little bit deeper. So today, we've got the brain dump, we've got our minds clear and all that kind of stuff. So what we're going to do today before we jump into goal setting is today we're going to actually just take a look at where are we right now. So I'm going to share in the files section of the group, you're going to see another document, and it's called the HPX Whole Life Assessment. I've found this document from a guy, his name is Brendon Burchard. Definitely not taking credit for this document, but sharing it with you. I've been a big follower of his for a long time. He has a document called the Whole Life Assessment, and it looks kind of like that. And I did save it in the files section of our group, so you can find it in there. If you use his planner, which is the High Performance Planner, it's also in the front of this, and he recommends using it frequently. Some people use it as common as monthly, other people every other month or quarterly, but he actually asks you to evaluate yourself pretty regularly in this department. The single page PDF that I loaded into the file section looks like this. And if you read the instructions on this, he'll talk about answering these questions based on the last 30 days of your life. Maybe as far back as the fourth quarter, if you just want to kind of have a little bit further back look. So what I encourage you to do, and like I said, I'm a big fan of Brendon Burchard. He's written 5 or 6 books, read all of them. Actually, highly recommend all of them. If I was picking one, I would tell you to read his most recent book called High Performance Habits. Really good book. He also has a podcast called The Brendon Show, which I really like as well. If you like podcasts, I would recommend listening to that. And then, like I mentioned, for some of you, you might really like this High Performance Planner, which he just launched in the last quarter. And he's starting a new website called HPX, which is High Performance Experience, and the Whole Life Assessment is from that, and then also again in his High Performance Planner. So what that Whole Life Assessment is basically you taking a look at yourself in many different categories and just saying, like, where am I right now? What's my baseline? And some of the categories are health, mental, emotional, family, friends, mission, spirit, finances, profession, learning, stuff like that. So he's going to have you rank yourself on where am I at this moment in all these different categories in my life. And really what we want to do is have that kind of be, this is our baseline. Before we really set goals for what we want this year to be like, we have to first stop and say, like, where am I at right now, and how am I doing in all these categories? So take your time to score yourself on those. And then what we want you to do is really take a look at that list and maybe pick out 2, 3, 4 categories that say, like, what do I need to focus on? You know, which one of these categories could I improve on, and which ones are the most important for me to see growth in 2019? So start kind of using that assessment of where am I right now and what categories do I want to see better. And 2 more points, I don't want to make this video too long, but 2 more points I would talk about is, you know, we see that when we enter a new year, we often see people talk about, like, oh, new year, new you, you know, and I don't necessarily always believe that. I think, yeah, we're obviously in a new year, but it doesn't mean, maybe you're not supposed to be a new you. Like, maybe you're supposed to be your real you, or maybe you're supposed to be your true you, or maybe you're supposed to be your best you. All of that's already inside you. You don't have to be a whole new person. We want you to be the best version of yourself. And so I hope that maybe helps some mindset and some just thought processes as we move forward in this goal setting. So just think about that. Instead of your new year, new you, how about your new year, true you? And the last thing I'd like to mention is it is a Monday, and I know it's really late that I'm getting this posted, so I apologize for that, but it is Monday. It's the beginning of the week. So in the comments section below this video, please post your goals for the week. And your word that helps with your mindset as you're focusing on this week. All right, you guys have been awesome. And I really, really love the amount of interaction this group is getting and the way you guys are really keying off each other and commenting on each other, and all of that's super awesome. We really appreciate your involvement and your support of each other, not just us supporting you. So we've been talking about how cool that is. So keep that up. We really, really love it. Thanks so much for trusting in us. We love you guys and we appreciate you going on this journey with us. So get your whole life assessment done and we'll ping you again here in another day or two. All right, be stalwart. Hope you had a Mon Slay today. If not, tomorrow is 2 Slay, so you can make up for it then. All right, you guys take care.